Good morning, children. Today we'll do a new poem. It is in your poetry book, Reverie. The poem is The Gift of India. It is the fourth poem. It's The Gift of India by Sarojini Naidu. The Gift of India is a patriotic poem and it brings out the patriotism of the poet. Sarojini Naidu is supposed to be said to be the nightingale of India. There is music of words in her poetry. And this poem refers to the time when the British were in India. India was a colony of the British and the wealth of India was taken away by the British. Not only the wealth of India, the young men also had to fight for the British. The soldiers who belonged to India, that is these young men, they had to fight the British wars and many of them lost their lives. So this poem deals with that. Now that is the background of the poem. The background of the poem is the First World War. The British ruled in India for over 300 years. They conquered India, and the reason for them conquering India was to take away the wealth and riches of India. Because at that time, England was developing into a great industrial power. And this wealth, the raw materials, the riches which India provided would have been very useful for the country. So this is the background of the poem. Now the word gift. Why is it called the gift of India? The word gift raises curiosity and expectations in our minds. What is this gift? The gift is an object which changes hands. There is the giver and there is the receiver also. The giver here is India, and India is personified as Mother India, and the receiver is the British. Actually, the gift was not voluntarily given, but it was taken away by force. That is, as I said before, the raw materials, the riches of India, the wealth of India, also the young men were taken as soldiers to fight the war for the British. This is also an anti-war poem, and when we read the poem, we realize that the Sarojini Naidu is against war. Now there is a small note about the poem on the previous page. Sarojini Naidu is also known as the Nightingale of India. She is also involved in politics. She joined the Indian national movement in the wake of the partition of Bengal in 1905. She helped to establish the Women's Indian Association in 1907. So here, as she was actively involved in the politics of India, she had a love for India, and this love for India, this patriotism for India is brought out in this poem. Now we'll go on to the poem. The Gift of India by Sarojini Naidu. Is there aught you need that my hands withhold, rich gifts of raiment or grain or gold? Now in the structure of the poem there are a few things which have to be studied, and one is the rhetorical question. That is a question for which there is no answer. The answer is implied in the question itself. It is known as rhetorical question. Is there aught you need? You refers to the British. That my hands withhold. My hands refers to India. India is personified as a mother, and she has given or the gifts have been taken from her, withhold. She has not kept back anything. She has given all the wealth to the British. Is there aught means anything? Is there anything you need which the British needed? That my hands withheld, which were not given, which were kept back by India, by Mother India. Rich gifts of raiment or grain or gold. So the gifts consisted of clothing. Raiment is garments, then grain or gold. All the material wealth of India was taken away by the British when the British colonized India. Lo is just exclamation, a phrase, words which used to attract the attention of the reader. Lo, two words, that is two letters to attract the attention of the reader. Lo, I have flung to the east and the west, priceless treasures torn from my breast. Much more valuable, much more than precious than the material wealth, that is the garments, grain and gold, is the sons of India, the soldiers of India, who fought for the British and they sacrificed their life. They fought bravely because being soldiers, it was their duty to fight. Lo, I have flung means I have provided, I have given to the east and the west. This refers to the wars which the British fought in the east, that is Persia, the west, that is France, Flanders. Flanders is the present Belgium. Lo, I have flung to the east and the west, priceless treasures torn from my breast. Priceless treasures, very valuable, very precious. So these refers to the soldiers who sacrificed their lives to fight for the British. And the imagery, the picture, imagery is word picture, is of a baby being torn from the breast of a mother, being taken away forcefully. Here the mother is Mother India. And the baby here refers to the soldiers who were forced to fight for the British. Priceless treasures torn from my breast and yielded the sons of my stricken womb. I have given some sons. I have provided soldiers for the British to fight for their war. Stricken womb. This has aroused sorrow in the heart of India, in the heart of Mother India. India is personified as Mother India. And yielded means provided. And provided the sons of my stricken womb. So, it is with great sadness and sorrow that I sacrifice my sons, the Mother India to speaking, my sons for the sake of the British wars. And yielded the sons of my stricken womb. To the drumbeats of the duty. You have alliteration also. Alliteration is the repetition of consonant sounds. Drum beats of duty. Drum and duty. The sabers of doom. That whole line there, doom is another word. To the drum beats of the duty. So you have auditory image here. The sound. Sound is visual imagery. You can see the word picture that the poet is trying to paint. Auditory image is you can hear the sound. You can hear the drum, beating of drum in these words. And what is the drum beats? The drum beats are the sounds calling the soldiers to do their duty. As soldiers, they have to fight. But here, they are Indian soldiers fighting not for India, but for the British. To the drumbeats of the duty, the sabers of doom. Saber is a kind of sword. Sabers of doom means because in this fight, the soldiers of India sacrificed their life, they faced death and they faced a lot of difficulties also. Many of them were wounded Many of them were mutilated, maimed. They lost their arms and legs. So, sabers of doom. But the call of duty had to be obeyed, so they had to listen to the British who were in control of India at that time, and they had to fight. To the drumbeats of the duty, the sabers of doom gathered like pearls in their alien graves. Alien is foreign. Their bodies were not brought back to India. The soldiers, the Indian soldiers who died in the war, they lost their lives, and even their bodies were not brought to India. So they died unlamented. They died in foreign land, gathered like pearls, but still the bodies of the soldiers who died in the war are referred to as pearls. Pearls are precious stones. Gathered like pearls in their alien graves. So their bodies were lost in some foreign shore. Silent they sleep by the Persian waves. Again, the places where they fought. They are not given a proper burial. There is no proper mourning or weeping for them. For two reasons also. Because nobody knows where they died, how they died, and also they are fighting for the British. And the soldiers had to fight. Even if they did not want to fight, they were forced to fight because the British were in control of India. Scattered like shells on Egyptian sands, east and west, wherever the British ordered them to fight, they had to fight. And their bodies are spoken of as pearls, gathered in their alien graves. Silent they sleep by the Persian waves, scattered like shells on Egyptian sands. Some animals live in shells. The oyster is found in the shell, but after the pearls also are found in the shell, but after the pearls are removed, the shell is useless. So these bodies are useless. They've lost their lives. Only the bodies are there. Scattered like shells on Egyptian sands. They lie with pale brows and brave broken hands. Again, alliteration in the words brave, broken. Brows, brave, broken. There is the repetition of the same consonant sound. They lie with pale brows because they are dead. They are looking pale. And brave, broken hands. Hands and legs are broken. They are maimed. They are mutilated. They are strewn like blossoms mown down by chance. Mown means destroyed. Blossoms is flower. They should have blossomed. They are very promising young men, but they did not reach anywhere. They lost their lives in the bloom of their youth. On the blood-brown meadows of Flanders and France. On the blood-brown meadows of Flanders and France. They are strewn means scattered, just like flowers. They are compared to dried up flowers, and they are scattered everywhere. They are strewn like blossoms, mown down by chance, destroyed by the war. Mown is destroyed. On the blood-brown meadows of Flanders and France. Meadows are supposed to be looking beautiful, green in color, full of grass. But here, because of the blood of the soldiers who died there, it is brown in color. So, blood brown. Again, alliteration you have there. On the blood-brown meadows of Flanders and France. Can you measure the grief of the tears I weep? Y-E means you. Are you able to amount? Are you able to realize? Are you able to understand the amount of grief that there is in my heart? Heart here, the heart of Mother India. Can you measure the grief of the tears I weep? You cannot fathom, you cannot find out, you cannot measure the depth of the grief which Mother India had for the sons of India who were killed in the war. Can you measure the grief of the tears I weep, or compass the woe of the watch I keep? Woe is sadness. Compass means understand, comprehend. Can anyone understand the grief, the sorrow of Mother India at the death of her young sons, promising youth? Or compass the woe of the watch I keep? Or the pride that thrills through my heart's despair? So you have pride there and despair there, words of opposite meaning coming close together is a figure of speech known as oxymoron. You have it in the text there. Or the pride that thrills to my heart's despair. The heart of Mother India is filled with despair, but there is also pride in the heart, pride because of the bravery of the soldiers, how bravely they fought the war. So she has both pride and despair in her heart. Or the pride that thrills through my heart's despair. Thrill, excited. She's proud of the brave sons who died, the brave sons who fought well. And the hope that comforts the anguish of prayer. The prayer is full of grief, full of anguish, full of sorrow at the death of these soldiers, but still there is hope. Hope that India will become independent one day. And the far, sad, glorious vision I see. Vision is a dream. Far, sad, glorious. So sad and glorious, words of opposite meaning coming together, which the figure of speech is oxymoron. Sad because it is at the cost of the life of so many brave soldiers that India won freedom, that India got independence. So there is glory in getting freedom for India. There is also sadness because this freedom is got at the death of so many young men. And the far, sad, glorious vision I see of the torn red banners of victory. So, victory, banners of flags announcing victory, but the word torn makes us realize that the cost which India had to pay for the freedom and the independence which she got. Freedom from the hands of the British. Or the torn red banners of victory. Red there, the color red there stands for the blood which was shed by the soldiers. But eventually, India was able to win freedom and independence and be free from British rule. And the fair, sad, glorious vision I see of the torn red banners of victory. When the terror and the tumult of hate shall cease, there's so much of hatred, there's so much of revenge, there's so much of ill feeling when there is war. And the poet hopes that one day all these feelings will be removed from the hearts of people and there will be peace, there will be joy and happiness. When the terror and the tumult of hate shall cease, cease means stop. The hate, the hatred, the revenge, the destruction, the death, the suffering which is caused by war will one day end. There will be a stop to it and there will be peace and freedom in the country. That is the hope which the poet has. And the terror of war will stop, will be no more. And the terror and the tumult of hate shall cease. and life be refashioned on the anvils of peace. Anvil is a kind of heavy metal on which other metals are shaped. It is shaped with a hammer. So, the beating of the hammer symbolizes the price which India had to pay to win freedom. And the price is the death of the soldiers. And life be refashioned. Life is transformed. There is a transformation in India when there is peace, when there is joy. And life be refashioned on the anvils of peace. And your love shall offer memorial thanks to the comrades who fought on the dauntless ranks. Dauntless is brave. Ranks refers to the army. And your love shall offer memorial thanks. The brave deeds of the soldiers who sacrificed their lives, should be remembered. But there is something else when you remember them, because they fought, they did not fight for India, they were fighting against India, not because they wanted to, but because they were forced to. Because, as I said in the beginning, India was under British rule. So even in the victory, even in the death of the soldiers, we remember them, we praise them, we glorify the deeds that they have done. And your love shall offer memorial thanks. Thanks to remembering, memorial is from the word memory, thanks, remembering the brave deeds of the soldiers. And your love shall offer memorial thanks to the comrades who fought on the dauntless ranks. Comrades is the soldiers who fought so well. And you honor the deeds of the dauntless one. You praise the deeds, the activities, the fighting, the brave fighting. Remember the blood of my martyred sons. My there refers to Mother India. Mother India will always remember the soldiers who died for the country. They will not be forgotten. Remember the blood of my martyred sons. So the deeds, the brave deeds of the brave soldiers should be remembered, they should be respected, they should be honored, and they were martyred, they were killed for the sake of the country. And Mother India will not forget that, she will always remember that. So with that, we completed this poem, but the notes are there. You should read up the notes.